This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
And welcome back. Yeah, a lot of us dealing with these challenges, depression, anxiety, stress. Wouldn't it be amazing to alleviate that and so much more using just light and sound? I know it sounds almost too good to be true, but it is true. It's been proven, it's been patented. Even digestion issues could be taken care of. This podcast is going to be, I do believe, excellent. And I really mean that because we're talking about the harmonic egg. What the heck is that? She's somebody who has one, helps people through it in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And she's also somebody who is an integrative health coach and nutritional kinesiologist. Courtney Yarch joins us today. How you doing?
Oh, I'm glad to be here. I'm doing good. Life is great. How about you?
Really good. And I've heard about this harmonic egg, wondered about it. I've heard wonderful benefits about it. And when we talk about this egg, we're essentially talking, my best description here is a pod that you're in where you experience sound and light in a certain way.
Yeah, exactly. It is big. It looks like a spaceship. It looks like a time machine. It's not. Don't you worry. It is about 11 feet, 7 inches by 7 by 7. So it is gigantic, like as big as a minivan. And if you come in for a session, we're going to sit down and talk about where are you holding your stress? Because stress doesn't just live up here. It lives in your heart rate and your insomnia and your digestion and your joint pain. And we're going to pick light and sound accordingly to suit you based with your intention and your healing. And then you just get to sit back. If you want to, I'll recline the chair back all the way into a zero gravity position, or some people sit up tall. And you are in the harmonic egg for 50 minutes, 50. So you get 40 minutes of music and 10 minutes of silence. And you're allowed to sleep. You can stay awake, pray, meditate, laugh, cry. It's your space. It's totally safe and just for you for 50 minutes.
Yeah, do anything.
No, whatever you want. Relax, sleep, count sheep.
What do you say to people? Courtney, I don't know. I'm a little claustrophobic. Claustrophobia over here. I can't do this.
Okay, well, I got two things, and I always tell people both. Number one, just sit in it for a few minutes. Anyone is welcome. If I don't have clients, you can come sit in it. And most people say it is a lot bigger because it's built with the principles of sacred geometry. So kind of like a seahorse tail or like a conch shell spiral. It's built with these principles that your body recognizes in nature. So you do feel pretty comfortable. It seems a lot more spacious, but if you still don't feel comfortable, I can always leave one or both of the doors open and I'll just shut the door to the room. So doors are open. You can escape at any point. And don't you worry, I have a doorbell in the pocket of the chair. So at any point, if you're like, this is not my jam, or I need Courtney's attention, you just ring that doorbell and I'll come running.
So let's talk about the benefits. What can this help people with?
The main thing that it does is rebalance the autonomic nervous system. Now, I'm not sure if you know much about stress, but stress is actually an underlying cause in almost all of the diseases and illnesses that we face today. Now, I am not allowed to say that I can treat, cure, heal, diagnose anything, but I can help your body handle stress, which is going to help with everything. The main things it does is work on anxiety, depression, post-traumatic stress disorder, chronic inflammation, chronic pain, and insomnia. And it does all of that by rebalancing the autonomic nervous system. So I can't really fix it in your life, like if your boss is mean or your neighbor's mean or the person in front of you cannot drive. But when your nervous system is balanced, you don't get triggered the same way. Like things don't anger you or drive you crazy quite the same. And if you can just coast through life a little bit smoother, everything works out better.
Well, it's always been said we're in control 24/7. And many of us think, well, don't you see what's going on in my life? Many of us deal with like horrendous challenges, but we do have a choice how we can deal with it. We always do. And in the egg, it's our way of dealing with it in terms of your nervous system. Say that again. Autonomic. What is that?
Autonomic nervous system. That's the part of your nervous system that you aren't really in control of. Like when we can rebalance your heart rate patterns, your breathing patterns, like how fast your blood is pumping through your veins, when we can get that under control, then that's going to help you handle stress better. So different colors and different sounds have different benefits. So if, like, everyone knows that red is stimulating and blue is calming, but it goes into a lot more detail than that. I actually don't use red very frequently in the harmonic egg. It has a lot of benefits, but it is an enclosed space for 50 minutes. So if you want some stimulation, I would probably work on something more like orange or some magenta, which magenta is a little more gentle. So is orange. Orange is also great for stimulating your liver, getting all those things going. Great for hormones. Yellow is great for speeding the digestion. If you are a little bit constipated or something, or you want to just get that metabolism going, if I play you double yellow, like above and below, man, you are going to go home and you will feel good. Things will be moving. Green is a great overall healer, but it is especially good for things like migraine headaches. So if you come in with a migraine headache, I just turn the volume down a little bit quieter. I can put on some green light above or below or both. And I mean, magic happens. Magenta is great for if you're craving a lot of sweets, if you are just constantly wanting to eat and eat and eat. Magenta light helps with crazy stuff like that.
Wow.
Yeah. Blue is great for calming inflammation, but if you deal with depression, I probably won't put on like a dark blue. I might put on like an aqua or a turquoise, but dark blue for 50 minutes in an enclosed space is a little bit too much. So people sometimes think that light doesn't matter that much, but light and color therapy affect everything. Think about it. When you go to your closet, what are you going to put on in the morning? It can absolutely change your day and change your outlook.
What's going on with the light? Do you have to keep your eyes open so you see them, or your body's just going to absorb the different wavelengths of light?
Absolutely. So we do have two lights. We have one above you and one below you. You don't have to look at either of them. You're still going to get it. The energy is bouncing all the way around. Most people keep their eyes closed, but you could look if you want to. There are actually double the lights because it's a bigger space beneath you. So if I'm going to choose two colors, I choose like our top priority color for the bottom and the second one for the top.
So, do you have a pre-session with somebody, even if it's a couple of minutes, and talk about what they're feeling, maybe how they want to feel, and it's almost like a menu at a restaurant. Yeah, hold on, I'll make that for you. And meaning
Exactly.
you change up the color.
So the first session always takes just a few more minutes because I do have intake forms to go through. I need to know things like, is your blood pressure high or low? I need to know where your joint pain is, what kind of injuries you've had, because there are some things that I'm going to avoid based on what's going on in your life. But then really we talk about setting your intention. Are you coming in for to reduce your stress? Are you coming in because your knee really hurts? Are you coming in because you have a syndrome or a diagnosis that you're trying to work through? So depending on what you're coming, everyone gets a different session. Although the first session, I always do work on an autonomic nervous system reset, but I still have like 15 different songs to choose from. So with an autonomic nervous system reset, I could also be focusing more specifically on reducing inflammation or on like uplifting if you're just feeling real down and heavy with life. Depending on what's going on, I can work more on all different things, depending on what your
Hmm.
intention is for the session.
So let's go a little woo for just a moment here.
Yeah,
Is
I
what's
love the
going
woo.
on? Is what's going on here? The person that's in the egg is receiving the energetic vibration of the music, if we want to call it that, the sounds, and the same thing for the light.
Exactly. So it is the inside of the harmonic egg is made of all natural, untreated walnut. Walnut doesn't hold Wood doesn't hold energy. So it's not like going in a float tank where you're going to absorb someone else's energy if they've been in there before you. The harmonic egg doesn't keep any energy, and we put the light and the sound on, and all the energy just kind of bounces around in the chamber. The real crazy thing is you don't even have to tell me the things, but people will come out and they'll just be like, "Yeah, I've had So I always ask, "Have you had injuries? Have you had surgeries? Where is some scar tissue?" And even if people don't tell me, the harmonic egg figures it out. And I always mention that not everyone, but most people will feel a tingling or a vibration or sensations where they've had injuries, either a hip injury or a shoulder injury, a sprained ankle. And sometimes if your whole body's overwhelmed, it almost feels like a weighted blanket. Like, oh, I don't want to pick up my arm. It just feels heavy as your whole body's getting energy moving through it.
Well, for anybody that hears this and is, what's with those two people there? I say this, think about it. You put on music. Why did you pick it? Either you wanted to feel uplifted, energetic, nostalgic. Sometimes we just want to feel, sad. There might be a reason. Maybe the song connects to something. Maybe the song connects to your childhood. What is a song? What is music? It's a vibration. It's a sound wave vibrating in the air that the little hairs in your ear pick up on and transmit it to your brain. It's
Yeah.
vibration. It's that same
You're
thing.
speaking my language.
I get it. And you know what? I just figured this out while you were talking before. It's a harmonic egg, which describes, well, what's a harmony? It's a vibration of music.
Absolutely.
Hmm. Give me an example of somebody that came in, was going through some challenges, and what they got out of the egg after a session or two.
Yeah. I had one gentleman come in. I think his wife had made him come in. And he said right away, off the bat, kind of arms crossed, he said, I have a migraine headache. I probably am not going to be able to stay. I'm just telling you right now. Like, okay, well, you're always free to leave, whatever. I told him about the doorbell. We picked out green above and green below because that's great for migraine headaches. And we put on a great song. And he was like, I just want you to know I'm probably going to leave. And I was like, that's fine. I reminded him where the doorbell was and I shut the doors and he stayed in the whole time. And when I went back after his session, I was like, how are you feeling? And he just smiled and he's like, it was so crazy. He said, I had this terrible headache, this migraine when I came in. And he said, within the first few minutes, I felt something go, like he said, I don't know, 7 or 9 times. I felt the energy moving on the right side of my head. And then my headache was completely gone. I mean, that's fascinating. He hasn't come back since, I admit, but he felt great. And he contacted me a few days later to say thank you. I had
Wow.
another client who's been in 3 times. She has Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which is a connective tissue disorder where your joints are not as stable. And she came in the first time and she was blown away. She said, I have never felt so tall and stable and able to stand up in my joints. And she's been back multiple times because she said every time she feels a little bit stronger. And at first, the sessions wrapped around her physical issues. And now she comes more for emotional issues, dealing with buried emotions, um, because it does help on both levels. There's physical benefits and emotional benefits.
Well, as I understand it, energy goes where it's supposed to or needs to go. If you go for a Reiki session, energy healing, the practitioner is just sending positive energy. They can pinpoint it here and there, but by and large, it's going where it needs to go. And it sounds like that's what's happening when you're inside the egg.
Absolutely, absolutely. I just guide it. I pick the colors and the music, but I am not doing any of the healing myself. That's the harmonic egg. That is the sacred geometric chamber with the principles of light and sound. It's magic.
Wow. Okay. How do you prepare for it? You have to wear a certain clothes or anything that we should be ready for?
Come in with a good attitude. It helps if you're hydrated. Although I'm going to bring you an electrolyte beverage afterwards, and you can always drink water later. But helps if you're hydrated. Just like a massage works if you don't stay really hydrated, but it works better if you drink your water. This is like a massage for your cells. Think about it like that. So I tell you to stay hydrated and don't do anything super crazy the next few days. There's a 5 to 7 day integration period. Like you're going to feel good when you leave the harmonic egg, but you're going to feel progressively better over the next 5 to 7 days. So I would say don't try to run a marathon the next day. Don't do a ton of additional energy work. Like give yourself a little break. So don't do harmonic egg today, Reiki tomorrow, massage the next day. That's just a little bit more than your nervous system needs. So let it just take in the healing benefits. It's awesome.
How long do the benefits last? Now we're talking 5 to 7 days. Go back to work the next day. There's my boss again, who's a
Yeah.
crank. Yeah.
Well, okay, so like with most healing modalities, it's going to be a little bit different for everyone. This makes me sound a little crazy, but let me tell you, to be totally honest, truth be told, I did my first session at the end of September. And life-changing is definitely an understatement. And I made my husband go in early October because there's one a couple hours across the state. And even my husband, who's so calm and stable, he doesn't get super passionate or crazy about anything, but he was like, whoa, we need this in our lives. And we opened our doors on January 15 with 2 harmonic eggs. So that, and we had each only done it one time at that point, but it was such a dramatic change in our lives. Now we all go, everyone in my family does it every single week, but one session can be fantastic and life changing. I usually recommend at least a 3 pack. Like, give yourself enough time because the first time, some people are kind of, curious, wondering what's going on. I mean, nothing changes. The lights don't blink or flash, but I think sometimes a new setting, the first time, some people don't maybe get 100% because they're a little bit just confused about what's going on.
Mhm.
So I always recommend 3 sessions to get started.
Essentially, this is nothing new. Light therapy has been around for decades. Same thing with sound
Millennia.
therapy. It just seems that it's being blended into the sacred space where it's the optimum place for you to be for both.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's been used in Greco-Roman times, Native American times. I mean, Egyptians, people have used light and sound therapy forever. And now we're just putting all the modern technology. But there's no Bluetooth in it. Everything is connected. We don't have any EMFs or any Bluetooth in the harmonic egg. It is all plugged in and we push buttons. I can't set it to go off at a certain time if I'm out of the space. We don't need to do anything more fancy. We don't need to add any more EMFs or any Bluetooth or anything crazy.
It's so fascinating. When we talk about sound, it was 4 years ago.
Mhm.
Let me think. 3 to 4 years ago, somebody invited me to a meditation, and it was a cacao ceremony. Doesn't matter, but that's they use chocolate from the tropical rainforest.
It's great. It's a vasodilator. Cacao is fantastic.
Yeah, highest form of magnesium on the planet. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm just showing up, whatever you got here. And it was the first time I ever heard a sound bowl, and they just hit it once to signify the start of this ceremony. I will never forget what it felt like. And I'm just bringing this up because of what sound can do. Just that one hit of the bowl, like boom, I felt like a hurricane going through my body. And I just felt like, oh, I feel relaxed now. Just from one hit. So I can't imagine what it would sound like with intentionality placed into the music or the sound that's coming out of the egg or in the egg.
Think about it like this. It's same principles. Like a sound bath though, or a gong ceremony
Sure.
is generally safe music and generally safe lights for everyone. So it's a little bit less range of what we can do. Whereas if you come in for a session, I'm going to say, what's your blood pressure like? What's your blood sugar like? Where is your pain? Is it in your upper neck or is it in your lower back or is it in your knees? Because different lights and sounds help with different parts. So it's like a personalized sound bath in your own space. You won't hear the person next to you snoring. No one's going to rustle and turn over and distract you. You
Mm.
get your own space. So if you want to laugh or cry or whatever, or sleep or snore, totally allowed because no one's there with you.
Side effects, are there any?
You know what? Most people just feel totally relaxed. They can handle stress better. Life is fantastic. Some people do notice it the next day. They do get kind of tired. Some people, if you have a really emotionally, if you're in there crying a lot, because some people do get teary and emotional in the egg, then you're probably going to feel pretty tired the next day. Anytime you have an emotional drain, and sometimes the harmonic egg can bring up buried emotions. There is no contraindications. You can use it when you're pregnant. You can use it with epilepsy. You can use it with, so there's nothing that you can't do. You can use it with a pacemaker, but I would say that if you have a lot of buried emotions and trauma, plan to be a little bit fatigued the next day.
And as challenging as it sounds, being emotional or even crying, that's why we're doing it because this, it needs to come out. You got to release it.
Yes, for sure. People don't even realize, but holding your emotions down is heavy on your body. It's heavy on your system. Not good. Emotions need to get out, express them.
Yeah. Energy needs to keep moving. So
Mhm.
if you're holding it in, you're not moving it. And it could be emotions or situations going back decades potentially, right?
Absolutely. And the thing is, a lot of times, especially if you had your trauma or issues come up when you were younger, you don't know or how to process it. You know that you need to behave in a certain way to get through. So you just bury those emotions down and you function because that's what you have to do to get through life sometimes. And sometimes it's not until you're an adult and you realize what you've been doing, and um, you don't know how to uncover those emotions until you're an adult. So buried stuff comes up from years ago.
Let's go back years for you. How did this all start, Courtney, with kinesiology and other modalities and bringing you to the power of using energy, light, and sound to help people heal?
Like many of us, I have had a little bit of trauma in my background. I don't think I'm alone in that. And I started teaching fitness classes right out of college. I thought that with enough exercise, getting my heart rate enough, lifting enough weights, eating really clean, I just thought I could power through it and get through life. And that helps a lot, but it doesn't do it all. And I tried journaling and I tried meditating and I've tried a lot of forms of talk therapy, and they just weren't everything I needed. And so I still teach fitness classes. I've done that forever. And a couple of years ago, I went back to school. I'm now a integrative health coach, which is fun, and I'm a nutritional kinesiologist, which is fun. But I don't use this in my practice. I was kind of floundering, like, what am I going to do with it? I hadn't found my spot yet. And a couple years ago, or last year, we have three teenagers. I'm not sure if you know about teenagers, but they're a lot of work.
Hello, 17, 19.
Yeah. So we have three teenagers right now, and we had some drama going on. We had some pretty heavy stuff going on. And at the same time, so I had been looking at the harmonic eggs for a couple of years, but the closest one was in Naperville, right outside of Chicago. And that's pretty far from my house. So I had just kind of blown it off. But the same week that we had some teenage trauma going on, one opened in Bay City, which is only 2 hours from my house. So I was there the first week it opened. And life changing is really an understatement. Like I went home and I felt good. I felt relaxed. And Janet is the egg guardian over in Bay City. She had said, there's this integration period. You're going to feel better over the next 5 to 7 days. But how do you even wrap your brain around that? You don't even know what that means. So I went home and I was like, well, that was really relaxing. But maybe 2 days later, I woke up and I was like, whoa. And I told my husband, like, I feel so good. And he's like, oh, I'm glad you got some good sleep. That's wonderful. And a couple days later, I was like, I don't know, it might be the egg I sat in. He's like, no, Courtney, you told me you just sat in some egg with light and sound. I was like, Brian, it might be the egg. Anyway, I made my husband go sit in the egg the next week, and he was amazed. So we just knew we needed this in West Michigan. So we go. We don't sit there and wait. We just go. We got it. We made it happen.
I'm fascinated that you're a certified level two integrative health coach and a nutritional kinesiologist. So
Yeah.
you're on deep in a lot of different areas, and you found this and you drove 2 hours, not even really knowing, you just heard about it. And let me give this a try. Um, because it works. And I was going to ask you, what was your first connection to knowing that energy works? And you shared it. And just what you said, even with Reiki, it's different, a different modality, but it is harnessing the power of positive energy. Um, I had it on a Sunday. Come Monday, I'm like, wow, you know what? I got clarity on that situation. Maybe I slept better. No, it was the energy.
Yes. People don't want to admit that because it's you can't necessarily like document it. You can't take a blood test to show that the energy moved and that's why
Right.
things are happening.
Mm.
So it sounds woo. People think it's woo and not science, but you just have to talk to anyone who's experienced it.
As we have right here.
You know it.
Um, you're located, it's in Grand Rapids.
Yep, yep.
Okay. What's your website?
HarmonicEggGR.com.
Unfortunately, you have to be there to be in the egg.
Yep.
Really can't do it virtually. Maybe there's some ways to do that in some regards using energy. Maybe we'll get to that in the future. Maybe in the future, maybe you could share with us maybe what the music that we talk about, the sound we talk about, maybe down the road.
Let's do that next time, next week.
Thank you for being here today. I've heard about this, wasn't 100% sure what it is, but now I know, and it's back to the basics. Light and sound and energy can truly change your life. Courtney, thanks for being here today.
Hey, thanks so much. It was great to talk to you.
You too. We'll be right back.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.